Hi, welcome back to Tea and Forget-Me-Nots. I'm Rachel and today I'm going to be remaking over something that I made over about a year or two ago. And this time I'm going to be giving it a new update with a transfer rather than the original decoupage. And if you'd like to see the original transformation, that is on my blog at teaandforgetmenots.com. Alright, let's get into it. So if you're not familiar with it, this is a Whatnot, and I bought this in a charity shop for £9 a few years ago. So I only have photos of the original piece and my makeover at the time because that was before I was doing videos for them. And it was in great condition, so I didn't need to do much to it. And if you'd like to see how I got to the end result of this piece with decoupage, then that is on the blog. But time's moved on and I fancied a change, so I found a transfer that I thought would be perfect for this piece and chose my colour scheme around that transfer specifically. So I peeled off the original decoupage paper, which was a wrapping paper, and I used a combination of sandpaper and water and scrubbing to get the paper off. It was very well stuck down, and then gave the whole piece a clean with white lightning, of course, and lightly sanded the original paint. It helps so much when you're the one that has originally painted it because I know exactly what products I've used. But as I knew I was going to be using a transfer on this piece, I decided to use just one coat of Slick Stick on the top of the shelves so that it would give the best possible start for the paint to stick to nicely and a good surface for the transfer on top. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. It makes a huge difference to smaller channels like mine. I actually tested out 3 different colours of paint to see which looks nicest with the transfer that I had, which is hot air balloons and clocks, kind of oldie worldy travelling style transfer. And the winning colour was dried sage, which is this lovely sort of grey, greeny, earthy colour. And I applied it with this synthetic brush, which worked perfectly. And in fact, I only needed 2 coats, which was a blessing because I counted all the individual pieces that made up this Whatnot, and there were 31 pieces. And bear in mind, the majority of them are legs or things like spindles, which can sometimes be a pain to paint. And I very carefully dried them on a table standing upright and hoping that no one would knock into it and they would all come tumbling down. So onto the transfer that inspired it all. So I chose this transfer called Hot Air Balloons and Clocks, which I chose because I liked it for its oldie worldy brown vintage kind of theming, and I only wanted to use the hot air balloons for this piece. So as usual, I cut out a variety of the different hot air balloons and worked out what I wanted to place where. So applying the transfer, first of all I removed the backing paper and then placed the picture down and gently rubbed over it with my fingers so that it all stuck. Then I did a first pass with the burnishing tool, and burnishing is literally just to transfer, to rub it on. I don't know why they call it a fancy name when it really is just rubbing. And I did a rough pass over the whole piece and especially around the edges just to make sure that it was all firmly in place. And then I went back and went over the details to make sure that each part of the transfer attached securely. People quite often ask if you can layer transfers, and that is what I did on a couple of the different shelves. And yes, it's absolutely fine to layer the transfers. In fact, personally, I think it often helps it build up into look like more of a richer, well put together picture. You can see if the transfer has attached properly because if you lift up the plastic top layer, you'll see some of the image still there, and it's fine to just lay it back down and rub it again until it does attach firmly. And the final step is to just rub over it with either a clean cloth or your finger and just make sure that it's all smoothed out on the top also. I wanted them to look a little bit more rustic and aged along with the shelves. I lightly distressed them with some sandpaper, so by roughing them up a little bit just makes them look a little bit less perfect and have a bit more history to them. And to quickly compare the two, the green balloon, as you've seen, has been distressed, and the second brown balloon with the blue flags has not been distressed, so you can see how they compare. I made sure I had the shelves all together while I was adding and placing the balloons, just so I could see how the balloons would fit together when the shelves were all rebuilt. I wanted to make sure that the eye would follow down in a nice natural path. I didn't want them all on one side and look too lopsided, so that it would be a nice path for your eyes to follow down. So my initial plan was actually to use some black or brown wax to age the shelves along with the balloons for this oldie worldy look. And the best way of doing brown or black wax is to do a first coat of clear wax. Then when you add the brown or black on top, if you are too heavy-handed and use too much, you can wipe it off very easily with some more clear wax. So I did a first coat of clear wax all over the shelves, and you can see the places that need the wax when you look in the light because there's still that matte finish where the wax needs to go over. So there we have the refinished, remade over whatnot. So it's gone from white and green to hot air balloons and a grey green. And I really like the update. I liked the original as well. And that is the beauty of paint. Its limitations are only what you're able to imagine. If you'd like to find out any more information or recreate the look for yourself, I'll leave a link to all of the products used below. I hope you enjoyed today's makeover. If you did, please consider subscribing. It makes a huge difference to smaller channels like mine, or watch another video in the playlist. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Bye!